structure of the government and the people that are elected. For some reason in local government, there seems to be a feeling that when things go badly, we should change the system. And as opposed to, like the federal government, if things are going bad, we change the president or the congressman or the senators, we change the people in it. And so I want to caution that there's no easy way to good government with the form of government. It still relies on good people. I do think the form is important. I think that there are benefits and drawbacks to the commissioner form of government. The benefit of a commissioner form of government is that it can be incredibly fast on its feet if you have a group of people that work together. Doesn't mean you agree all the time, but it means you come to agreements and votes on all the issues in a fair, open, and speedy fashion. So when something happens that you really must take care of, with 5 people, you can quickly get the information, make a decision, and move on. But it takes a lot of trust between the elected officials. And as you might know, elected officials are a very rare breed of person. We sometimes, I know this is going to shock you, that we worry more about our election than we do about the government, especially when election year turns around. And I used to warn the staff that during the election year, do not expect rationality, truth, or honesty from elected officials. We're busy trying to get reelected. And I don't mean that as a criticism. Elections are the engine of a democracy. You cannot have a democracy without elections. It always amazes me how much our citizens hate it and how much our elected officials hate it. But without an election, and a fair election, we don't have democracy. So what I would say to you today is I think that Charles County is growing large enough that separating the executive and the legislative branch may make sense. And that's essentially what it will do. You will have a county executive and a legislative branch. And the theory behind this is that when, no matter how bitterly they disagree on the policies, the functioning of the nuts and bolts of county government will not slow down because the elected officials can't come to terms with large policies. So if you need a building permit, you can get a building permit. If the cops need equipment, you see that the budget is amended and these things are done. That schools are not over capacity and all these other things. When you get to the policy issues about taxes and growth and land use, those become policy issues, and they're going to be subject to great debate and great disagreement. But the benefit is that if you have a county executive, they will keep the government rolling. Now, as I recall, it does not have to be an elected county executive. I think there are some counties, I know like in Fairfax, Virginia, the county executive has those authorities, but they're appointed. I think they're appointed by the council. I'm not sure how that's done. So having an elected executive is one of the options of separating. I think that makes sense in Maryland. That's how it's done in just about all the counties, number one. It's almost a rite of passage for a county to become an executive form. They have a group of just county executives that get together, and we have a wide range of them. There's some really remarkable people in local government, in small and large. Ike Leggett in Montgomery County is a very decent man and a very good man. You have Ken Allman in Howard County. He's a young man. Craig, he's former delegate who's now county executive of Harford County. Republican, very good man. I forget his last name. And in the past few years, we've had 2 county executives go to jail. So we have the whole range of, we prefer the good ones, but when you put a lot of power in the hands of one person, there's always the risk that you face that if it's the wrong person, things can go wrong. And that's why I would suggest to you that you be very careful how you separate the powers. And I think one of the things our federal government did at the beginning was to be sure that no one person accumulated so much power that they could truly overturn. I'm not even sure how to phrase it, but there was a strong sense of too much power in any one person's hands was a bad thing. And I would suggest that you follow that in giving authority to the county executive, his strongest power should be the administration of his office and running the normal operation, day-to-day operation of the government. How you would divide the powers about land use and budgets, I think, are an open question. I would be very careful that no one person have total power of the purse, where once they get it, they can change it at will, that kind of thing, that there be checks and balances at every step of the way, that if you have an executive budget, that it has to go before the council, and that there be at least a majority vote, and that it pass. If it doesn't pass, you have to have a process where it has to be passed. You can't allow there not to be a budget. The state legislature's done that, or not. Excuse me. Not well.